This is hard for something you already got. Another orange morning, it's time to show. Another orange morning, it's time to grow. Another orange morning, let the updates flow. Another orange morning, you already know. Friends are coming through the door. Wheels are spinning on the floor. We don't know what we don't know. That's the only way to grow. Another orange morning, it's time to show. Another orange morning, it's time to grow. Another orange morning, let the updates flow. Another orange morning, you already know. What you're looking for is in your hand, been there all along. Pour another cup and pull a chair. Sing along. Another orange morning, it's time to show. Another orange morning, it's time to grow. Another orange morning, let the updates flow. Another orange morning, you already know.
Good morning, HubSpot Nation. Welcome to another episode of Another Orange Morning. I should probably just say welcome to another orange morning. I don't think the episode part is as important. Happy Friday, Casey. How are you doing?
I'm good. Our first official week.
Yeah, in the books. All of the orange mornings
morning
happening now. And I can say I definitely have an unhealthy obsession with the song. Thinking about it, or not thinking about it, but it exists in my head at multiple points throughout the day. So sorry, not sorry if we're causing that in others as well. But that's kind of the vibe here too.
Well, I think it's been interesting to, as someone that's had a chance to watch your evolution as a song creator up close and personal. It's interesting to have watched your, like, you're in this era, I feel like, of song creation that's a little more folksy.
Yeah. I mean, all right, there's some recency behind it.
That's what you're that's what I'm saying. You're in a folksy era.
Yeah, we're in that season apparently. And of course, Casey's referring to that song plus the Road to Unbound song. And that's what happens when you kind of let AI drive sometimes. Apparently folksy stuff is related to people like hanging out and community building and, stuff like that. I don't know. That's where Claude took us. And
I'm not against it, to be clear. It's
right.
just...
Well, that's I mean, it hits, so I'm not mad about it. And yeah, maybe that's a good name for this season, folksy.
And your transition now
into updates. What kind of folksy updates
that's what I was waiting for
on tap today?
It has been a little light the past couple days, but yesterday they dropped, how many are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's actually interesting. A peek behind the curtain. George sends us the weekly recap of updates Thursday. We'll go live with George at 10 a.m. Eastern every Friday to just recap all the updates from the week. He sends that over Thursday, and I was reading through it, and I was like, George, where are some of these updates from? I was like, I've been keeping up all week, and there are all these updates that, like, and it turned out they just dropped yesterday, and we had so then I brought this up while I was reviewing his prep sheet, and I was like, oh, Oh yeah, there's actually some decent new updates. Um,
Yeah,
I guess
there are.
hard to ignore the major update tag with flexible CRM views. However, this has been around for since inbound, right?
Apparently, and somehow it still says, please note this is a beta and should not be discussed publicly.
That's been on
That's
there
not
for
true.
months. That's
That's
been on
not
there for
true.
months.
Because I want to talk about it because kind of annoying right now that the rollout of these streamlined they're cheap. Like how many different updates can we have for like the
Mhm.
same
Mhm.
experience changes? So like there's another one called Streamlined. Um, and it causes some challenges when I'm showing one version of the view and and you don't have that view in your
Mhm.
portal. Because there are like it's a much more sophisticated CRM index view.
Mhm.
Like once you get to the streamlined one, and like the way you save things is changing, and so what are we talking about here? In various ways, including this specific update, HubSpot is enhancing the index page experience to make it simpler, more intuitive, and more powerful so you can move faster, focus on what matters, and make better decisions with ease. Check out this Loom for a full walkthrough.
Love a Loom. Why does this matter? The redesigned CRM index page puts your data front and center so you can focus on what matters most. Whether you're renaming views on the fly, spotting trends with conditional highlights, or diving deep into column level insights, everything is built to help you see more, click less, and act with confidence. I don't feel like either of those explained what this is. um, But yeah,
Yeah.
so it's this specific update to your point, Chris, is the one for, for decluttering the interface. So I think this is where like some of the filters will hide by default. Is that? I'm confused.
Turn any table into. Yeah, we need a little help with this one. HubSpot. If you're gonna use the major update tag, um,
Well,
use
this is cool.
conditional.
Use conditional highlighting. Yeah.
Yeah. Smarter visual signals. Yeah, all I know is that the streamlined version of index view updates is a little more provided more clarity for me. But overall,
But isn't that a
it's just
different
like,
update? Like that streamlined is like one update, and then this is, I guess,
yeah,
gives you the conditional highlighting. You can turn any report or zoom in on a single column.
yeah. I think we just move on and maybe
Okay,
deep
sorry.
dive into it next week. I definitely want to deep dive into it next week because there's a lot of like you can, especially in table view. I mean, it's pretty close to like spreadsheet management. Like, and I love leveraging that in front of people that think HubSpot is some kind of overly complicated or complex thing that they're never going to be able to figure out. Now that you can come in here and you can edit right in here and you can add columns via like new properties really quickly, which freaks out most admins. But like that's what people are doing in their spreadsheets. And that's the kind of thing that keeps them out of HubSpot when they cannot manage data in that way. But the ability to freeze columns, like much easier now. So it's come a long way recently. One that jumps out to me that we certainly, I guess we don't have to, but we're going to, custom coded modules for quotes.
Shocking. Ooh, and it's a long one for you. So
yeah, what
I
is
like
it?
that.
Developers admins or HubSpot solutions partners and no one else are now able to build custom interactive and data-rich elements that can be embedded directly into quote templates or individual quotes. A quick note: HubSpot did not say the and no one else part. That was just me. So I'm sure others can do it too. Check out the high-level overview here. And is that a Loom video?
No, it's developer docs.
It's developer docs. Okay.
Does developer docs make me sound old? I think I feel like it does, actually, because that's not what it is anymore.
No, it's yeah, developers.hubspot.com/docs. These custom elements enable admins to add custom coded sections to quotes, replacing existing sections. Example, customizing how the line items table renders products/services/totals, or even build the entire quote template from scratch using their custom elements. These HubSpot CMS React modules are extremely flexible. They can access data inside the CRM. For example, a module could be used to swap terms and conditions language based on company properties like type, access data outside the CRM. Example, pulling in architectural drawings from an external database. I'm having trouble getting through all this. I'm so happy. Capture information on the quote and push it to the CRM. For example, capturing onboarding or billing info during the quote acceptance. Even provide user interfaces to quote creators, allowing them to provide inputs while building quotes. For example, a user selects which payment schedule option they want to offer on for a given quote, which renders different schedules and kicks off invoice creation post-quote acceptance. It's like a UI extension in the middle of a quote, basically. The possibilities are indeed endless. I need a minute. Glad yours is long too.
While you catch your breath, Chris, I'll tell everybody why it matters. First, because of more flexibility and control for admins using CPQ. Quotes already allow admins to drag and drop rich text content sections that they can customize with text, images, videos, bulleted lists, etc. Those rich text sections can even have their source code modified for deeper customization. However, the HubSpot quotes are more than just documents. They're buyer-accessible web pages. To access their full potential, many users need to go beyond rich text customization to tailor the appearance, content, and logic of quotes to meet specific business requirements that cannot be met with standard templates and modules. Whether you are large enterprise or small team, this update gives you the flexibility to have full brand control and the flexibility to streamline operations using the quote as a platform. AI-generated code has reduced barrier to entry. While this capability would be game-changing at any time, the availability of AI coding like Claude Code, Codex, Cursor, or Gemini Assistant has made it easy for anyone to create code. Read more below about how to get started, including how to use AI agents to get started. I'm wondering how much this stresses out developers, but it's okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I know you are.
It helps others like us do really cool stuff inside of HubSpot. And can you click on the screenshot that is below?
This one, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm if it's like the other stuff, like UI extension land, you can do whatever you want as long as the data is in HubSpot. The data model let's say not in HubSpot, because apparently you can access data outside of HubSpot, but you still have to understand how your data model works and that the data is going to be there. Because so often, especially in CPQ land, like so much work goes into developing the system, and then like you can't use it because the data is not good, and that takes people outside of the system, or they get frustrated really easily. So with great power comes great responsibility, but that is certainly a welcome addition to quoting capabilities in HubSpot. Any others catch your eye today?
I don't think we have to go into it, but the customized CRM object names now match in the mobile app. Feels worth noting. So you've been able to edit the CRM object names for a while now, probably a year at least. And apparently I'm not a big HubSpot mobile app user myself, but I guess that change was not applied in the mobile app, so that seems pretty good.
That seems amazing.
And then the other thing I'm interested about diving into personally is the Asana MCP server. I know, Chris, you're a big advocate for the projects tool inside of HubSpot, but as a long-time Asana user, this feels like it would be easier for my workflow and not changing everything on me all at once.
Baby steps.
Yeah.
MCP often acts like one of those, because as long as you can do that, then Breeze can learn about what project management looks like, and then you can start to move if you want to.
I don't know if I'm quite ready to jump from my.
You're ready.
My Asana.
You're ready.
All right.
The cool part when you have that stuff next to your customer data.
And then I'm sure Chris will want, or I'm sure George will want to run through this. My guess is at 10, but calling on customer agent now performs actions also feels like a big deal.
Yeah.
There's a lot of big deals today, actually, I guess is what I'm saying.
Big day yesterday, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready to will it workflow?
I think we are.
All right. We'll spin the wheel. Our object today is invoice. Okay, Chris. Our app is Microsoft Teams, our favorite. And our use case is send to external system. Oh, well, I mean, this is kind of like, I like when the use case and either the object or the app like very easily make sense. Sometimes it's more of a stretch, but it's very nice when this. Will it?
But I think well.
No?
I mean.
You're saying what's an external system? Is that what you're gonna?
No, do we need it to workflow? Is the Microsoft Teams app where you can set up, messages and notifications to just go to Teams?
Well, if the question right now is will it, I think yes.
Yeah. Well, let's get in there, because I need to see what we're working with. I think this is an important part of what we want to accomplish with this series is just because you can doesn't mean you should. And I'm interested to see what's possible.
So my immediate thought here was when the invoice status becomes paid. You know what, actually, Chris? We'll do basically exactly what you did yesterday to me in Slack.
There we go.
But Chris did it manually. He didn't do it through a workflow.
Only we were setting this up in our portal. That we'd just be done with that. That would be
well, we also don't use Microsoft Teams, so because we're not ridiculous. Well, I'm gonna get tricked right here, but so just yesterday, Chris and I have a mutual client. They paid their invoice, and when they pay their invoice, I invoice Chris. They pay Chris, Chris pays me. That's how it works. So what Chris did was he saw they paid their invoice, so he took a picture of the paid invoice and slacked it to me to tell me that it was time for me to invoice him. Very, very kind of you, Chris.
Did I even have to do that? Like, did you get the payment email?
I did get the payment email, but it's
Right. So, yeah. All right.
But let's see. Yes. But in theory, let's say I didn't get the payment email. And I only got the payment email because I'm a super admin. Just, I don't know if it matters. You could have sent a Microsoft Teams notification, which I don't have Teams set up because, obviously.
Right.
But in theory, you could have sent a Microsoft Teams notification that the invoice had been paid.
Yep. Yeah, so I think I'd be interested in seeing the settings of like the Teams app, because like with Teams, Slack, like all these messaging have like built-in settings. Like when this happens, put it in this channel and tag people, and you don't ever come to the workflows tool.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I'd say like if you need more flexibility than that, or if you need to do multiple things, like if we're not saying that Microsoft Teams in that environment is the external system and we need to send it to a different external system, we can bring those two things together, which is probably the case. Like if you're invoicing and you actually need to send the invoice out as well, because maybe there are others on the team that aren't, as Teams adoptive, and you need to send it via email to them, or it needs to go to a different department of the organization, or you need to send it to the client early to get their approval. I think that's a ton of the value here. So this is pretty straightforward. But I mean, am I overthinking it, or is that fair to say, like, try to solve it in the settings of the app first?
I mean, that's sure. I don't think there's a way in Slack to just. I have done more work in the Slack integration than the Teams integration. That's what I'm trying to say. But I do not think there is a way with Slack to just say when invoices are paid without a workflow.
Right.
Yeah. So I do think for the use case I highlighted, I think you would need a workflow.
Right. Okay. Yeah, and it's one of those situations where a lot of apps are built out for everything but the commerce objects. So you have to get more. You have to unlock more of the power of HubSpot by coming into like the workflows tool.
Yeah, and I've created a decent amount of Slack notifications like this. And oftentimes the reason we're doing it here is, we want to say something very specific in the Slack, or we want to, the filters, like only close deals in this pipeline go in this channel and things like that are typically not mentioned across every across like the general settings if you were to do that. So
okay. Makes sense. So
All right.
100% it will workflow. And I've been like fumbling around the Slack settings on my screen, and I probably am just not understanding clearly that all of the cool things that I've heard of happening in Slack are actually all workflow based.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think all of the cool stuff you think is just like Slack magic is actually workflow magic, personally.
Because everything starts with create a workflow over here. So fair. Okay. I try to
I
get
feel
everybody
like-
inside of HubSpot, folks. So I'm not as familiar with sending notifications everywhere else.
All right. Will it? Yes. Should it? Yes. How would we? Pretty easily, honestly.
Yeah. Super easy. All right. And like if you can click on the see the retired archive real quick, just so everybody knows. While it will be very unlikely to hit another a duplicate in the 57,000 results, we are keeping track of the ones that we have done. So if you click that button right below the wheel, you can see a starting point for what we've done, and we'll be sharing clips and like stuff like that to like dig in if you want.
I like the verdicts. Like, yeah, this workflowed. This one, I mean, kind of.
Well, it was too like if it's just to like tell somebody to look at something, it's probably an unnecessary workaround. But if you're trying to use the approval systems inside of HubSpot, then it's definitely something to workflow. So we'll work on the clarity of verdict here. Okay, how about some object of the day real quick? And then we'll talk about our deep dive will be into what we mean by the word friends and what we're hoping to accomplish, with this show. So here is, so I'm on the data model screen here, overview, viewing all objects. And we're going to talk about credit memos today. All of these commerce and accounting objects are indeed in HubSpot. Does it mean it's replacing your accounting system? No, it does not. But it does mean that we can give our teams access to the data that they're going to call accounting for, or ask for an email. Hey, can I get a statement of account, related to this client? I thought we had to give them, rebate, or they sent something back, right? We can bring that data in so that we don't have to call each other. And so this is native, right? It's not a custom object. I didn't click anything to activate it, right? And largely because after an invoice is sent and paid, any changes after that, you can't just go back into the invoice. This is that world that most of the HubSpot ecosystem is not used to, where there's got to be an audit trail, and it's super important that everything is documented. So once an invoice is paid, you can't just go in and make edits to that invoice. That's a document of record. And so the way that you make updates is via credit memos. And if we look at view details, I'm going to edit the data model here. And so we've got credit memos. Comes with 59 properties out of the box, and also like the associated objects, right? This is another thing where so often, especially in the commerce objects, like, yes, they're an object, but are they really an object like all the other objects? Like, not always.
Often, no.
Right? Like, we probably don't have a full record, but what we can do is we can associate it to all the other objects, like in the CRM, right?
Mhm.
So not just, again, like trying to help you put the data that you need, that the customer facing teams need, just to understand the status of a customer without having to call other departments, email other departments, Slack everybody about everything. And this is also the kind of stuff that gets us to and allows for like unified revenue views, right? You're seeing all aspects of the revenue cycle. So credit memos in HubSpot. When I first started working in HubSpot, I never thought I'd be excited about accounting records, but when you happen to put it in the system that's super easy to use and like helps you do your job better, like you get pretty excited. So any thoughts you'd like to add, Casey?
I think that it is very nice. It's fun. It was funny to me to hear you kind of intro this, just because you were basically like, then you don't have to call another human. You can just, which I was like, and here we are saying, don't talk to other humans if you don't have to, which is, as a introvert, I agree with.
Right.
But it's true. If we have the data that we need to see, it makes it much easier for everyone to just have a better understanding. I mean, this is your whole unified customer view in action.
Yeah. So definitely don't if you don't have to, but also if you do have to, like have all the information at hand. I think this is the most common place where businesses they've never really measured how much waste like there actually is on all the back and forth between teams, just to understand data that's sitting in a system somewhere that they can't see. And there's so much opportunity to save time and save. The most interesting thing is like when you know you're spending like social capital, like to ask like, oh, I've got to call Casey. When was the last time I called her? And I asked her about this thing. So like people make sure they don't like nag the other person, right? So you either build up your needs, and that's the stuff that's just like, not only are we using time that we don't have to, it's an additional layer of stress of like, am I bothering the other person like too much? And removing that has a huge impact. So that is credit memos. At the end there, I showed you can even, make association labels between credit memos and invoices, and accounts, contacts. Maybe there's refunds, maybe there's rebates, maybe there's returns. Maybe they won a prize. Like this, you start tying it to marketing activities. Like, man, powerful stuff here. So deep diving. What do we mean by friends? Casey, Chris, and friends on this new show, Casey.
It could mean many things. But starting next week, we're going to have some of our friends join us each morning, kind of a rotating cast, if you will. And we're excited to just add some other voices to this, so it's not just Chris and I echo chambering each other. Many of our friends are have expertise outside of where Chris and I thrive. So I'm excited to hear their perspectives on kind of what's happening in HubSpot, deep dives from them, and so on. Do we have an official list of who and when, or are we still finalizing
that? It's becoming official. People are on calendar invites.
And if we say it publicly, then what can
lock
they do?
it in, right? This is some sort of like peer pressuring everybody into participating. Um, but I'm pulling up on my screen the who. And let's see here, just making sure I've got. I mean, Trisha was the first one to sign up. Yeah.
Trisha was the first one to sign up. Yes. So one of my longest HubSpot friends is Trisha Miriam. She'll be joining us on Thursday. I am really excited to have her on the show. She is launching her flower bouquet business this weekend. So she's very busy this weekend for Mother's Day, and then she'll be with us next week. She'll have a whole new business that she is running using HubSpot. So.
Yeah, that's been exciting to hear about. We've been talking about it before we do the Value First Platform show, and I'm excited to hear like how a business like that can start up like in this moment of access to things. And it's been interesting to hear like about the things that are getting in her way.
Mm-hmm.
That's like always comes back to the other humans involved in any kind of process, folks. So very excited to have her on Thursday mornings starting next week.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Mr. Oaks joining us on Monday. Yeah, on Monday.
A voice for radio. He has. I'm really excited to have Oaks on because Oaks is so smart and he has such a creative and wise way of looking at audience segmentation, at just utilizing HubSpot in ways that are aligned both with the business goals, but also the audience's expectations and where the audience is. So I'm super excited to talk to Oaks at least once a week.
Yeah, and he's been doing some really cool stuff with call transcripts using Ask Elephant. He's developed call Catalyst AI. He just hit this 1,000 franchise sales calls reviewed milestone. And I think everybody can benefit from using call transcripts that are inside of HubSpot or even outside of HubSpot in a everybody has room for improvement there is what I'm trying to say. And this is a dude that can definitely help you understand the how and the what behind that. We've got Zach Hushin from Hush RevOps joining on Wednesdays starting the 21st, I think. Is that Wednesday?
No, 20th.
The 20th. He's going to be joining. He's growing like gangbusters right now as a HubSpot partner and a fellow, manufacturer at heart. It's where the space that he came from, and starting to have success with like RevOps workshops and just really getting, teams that have been hard to reach, like traditionally in the HubSpot ecosystem. Getting them more involved in understanding like the ins and outs of a system like HubSpot so that they can, apply them across, especially when it comes to like ERP integration and, things like that. So excited to have him joining, and then got our good friend Madeline joining next Fridays with a surprise return feature that I think we need to promote better than just saying it in this moment right now. And so excited, teasing that a little bit, excited for that segment that I guarantee you will not find anywhere else in the ecosystem. So really excited for next week. And This is kind of an open invite as well. I think is the reason I wanted to dive into this today. All are welcome. If you have expertise in HubSpot or you're a HubSpot product manager, we want you to feel like you have an open invite and can come on and talk for 10 to 15 minutes on any given episode. This is definitely like we want to build awareness about what's going on in the ecosystem and the HubSpot platform itself. So I look forward to getting our first product manager on the show at some point as well.
I'm excited to hear from anyone. If anyone watching, we'd love to have you join us for a morning, hear your thoughts on what's new in HubSpot, hear your expertise on any topic that you're passionate about as well. Excited to add more voices to the show.
Indeed. Remember, folks, you probably already own the solution you're looking for in HubSpot. Sometimes you just need to wake up to it, and you don't have to wait till Monday to hear from us again. We're going to be going live with Mr. George B. Thomas in about an hour to talk about updates from the whole week on that new show. So until then, everybody have a wonderful Friday. Thanks, Casey.
Have a good one.